Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Midweek Mix-Up Weekend Edition with myself and the General C.
Ooh.
I don't know how long this episode's going to be fair, because I'm not sure there's too much to talk about, but we're going to have some fun. Um, Jen, first of all, how are you doing today, and what you been up to?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Been playing COD, of course, completed that. COD, that game's tough on regular. I did not expect it to be as tough as it was. They really made it hard on regular. It's crazy. Uh, Played a bit of Dead by Daylight yesterday with Thistle crew.
Yeah.
They've got a video coming out for that, so that should be a hell of a lot of fun when that comes out. Won't go into too many details on that because I don't want to spoil it. Bit of Sea of Thieves in the week as well for Sea of Tuesday's playcast. But yeah, not really been playing too many other games. Just stuck with COD mainly this weekend. Really enjoyed that, and I can't wait to get into talking about that.
Yes, most definitely, most definitely. I've pretty much the same. I played a little bit of FIFA, Call of Duty, Plague Tale, and Sea of Thieves, of course, naturally. I haven't been playing anything else, and I've also been sleeping a lot recently because I've been knackered. So
Don't blame you. I've been sleeping fairly well this past week. I don't want to jinx it because, dare I say, insomnia will come back to bite me on the arse.
yeah, all the best intentions of streaming games across the weekend, and yeah, that went out the window. But hey ho, still managed to get a little bit of gaming in anyway, a little bit of chill time, switch off from things, and do a bit of housework and sleep. Otherwise, hope everybody else in the chat's doing well. Let's hear what you guys have been playing. Fanto, I know you're currently in hospital at the moment. I hope you recover quickly. And obviously that glandular fever went the wrong way, and obviously took you out. So hopefully that's a swift recovery for yourself. But for those of you who had a chance to play some games, let us know what you've been playing.
Yep. Hopefully, Fanto's back in time to play Call of Duty at the weekend.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Hey, but yes, let's get straight into it. Of course, we're going to have our Call of Duty discussions. We've also got Silent Hill to discuss, obviously on the midweek mix-up podcast. It was just before the stream went live, so we haven't actually discussed it on here as yet. And of course, then we've also got Resident Evil remake as well to discuss, Resident Evil 4. So that'll be interesting, and of course, our thoughts on Call of Duty. I think first of all we will get into our thoughts on both Silent Hill remakes and multiple other things, as well as Resident Evil. So yes, Jen. First of all, what did you make of the Silent Hill live stream? It was 40 odd minutes long. It showed quite a number of things. It was about 4 or 5 games. It had merchandise, a new film. What did you think of it?
It's a lot of Silent Hill, which in a way makes me concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, we not long just come off the back of Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed unveiling of all their upcoming projects, and I think that's a lot of Assassin's Creed as well.
Yeah.
But in terms of this, the only thing I really am excited to play is the remake of Silent Hill 2. The other stuff, I am not too sure about. It is Konami. We know they've had some screw ups in recent years. Metal
Yeah.
Gear Survive. I'm looking at you. So yeah, I kind of don't have much hope for that. It is Bloober Team that are making it, and there's mixed opinions on their games. Layers of Fear. I can't remember the exact subtitle for the sequel to Layers of Fear, but there's 2 of them,
Yeah.
I think. And they did the Medium as well, and I'm not really big into those games. They're horror experiences without combat, and they're not really the horror experiences that appeal to me. It's one of the reasons why I never got into Outlast. I just didn't get on with that game.
Yeah.
I always prefer to be able to fight back if I'm in a horror game.
That's fair.
I don't know how well Bloober Team are going to handle combat because they've never done it before in any of their games. So that's something that does worry me.
Yep.
But again, it's a remake. Surely it's going to be hard to screw that up. But I don't know. Maybe not a good idea to go with Bloober. Maybe they should have done something before taking on this to try their hand at doing a game with combat. For this to be their first experience with pushing a more action-oriented combat sort of game.
Yeah.
It's a bit concerning for me, but I'm excited for it. I'm going to keep an open mind. Hopefully, when they reveal the gameplay for that, that'll be something special and not an entire letdown. As for the other Silent Hill projects, I'm not really that excited for, to be honest. Like I said, Konami, big mistakes in their department over the recent years. They've been pushing in a NFT direction, pachinko machine direction, so they don't really care about their games. So surely that's gonna affect this in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they've had a drastic turnaround, but I don't know. As for the movie, it was only the first Silent Hill movie that I thought was fairly okay. The sequel to that was garbage. So yeah, I don't know why they're pushing for a third one. Like, why? Those movies weren't that good.
I thought the first one was all right.
The first one was just okay. It weren't great.
The one
It
with
weren't-
if they do have this official second one for Silent Hill 2, they need Sean Bean back to play that character again.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of hoping for. It wasn't the sequel, I think.
It was Silent Hill 2, yeah.
It's also the only movie that Sean Bean hasn't died in.
Yes.
Or one of the only movies.
And long may that continue.
Yeah. Maybe kill him off in this one and it'll be a good movie. Sean Bean dies in all the good movies he's in.
The one thing you can say, though, for the Silent Hill movie is that it's a good representation of the game.
In terms of like the monsters and all that, they're pretty nailed down. That's the best part about it. Story-wise, it's
it's an average story, but in terms of the world in terms of the world they created, though, that was a good representation of Silent Hill, where everything kind of turns on a dime and it goes from a normal place that's covered in ash.
In that first movie, it was done pretty well. Just the story was a bit low budget, in my opinion. Yeah,
I agree. Overall, though, a good representation of what a video game movie should be. In my opinion, it's kind of sticks to the source material. Of course, if you don't like the Silent Hill games, then you won't like the movie. But yes, for me, I don't understand why they're going to 1960s Japan for Silent Hill. I've mentioned this on other podcasts as well, but Silent Hill is an actual place in real life. It's a place called Centralia in the USA.
Yeah, it's based on is it Pennsylvania or something like that?
Yeah, Centralia in Pennsylvania.
Based on a real place.
Yeah. Which had exactly the same thing happen to it as the town in Silent Hill, which was underground mine fires for coal mines, and they're just forever burning, and still to this day are still burning in some sections.
I remember going through like a deep dive of watching videos on YouTube about that, and that was very interesting to watch.
Yeah. And essentially that's where they got the idea for. So going to Japan, Silent Hill F, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's completely...
It makes me think, are they going to try and do it in the terms of like the Suicide Forest?
I would hope not.
Hopefully Logan Paul's not in there.
Yeah. But I would hope
He's
not.
The main character.
Much for the reason that Logan Paul shouldn't have went there to do a vlog is the same reason they shouldn't do a game there.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That brings me back around to the thing that Kojima was working on, because his Silent Hill game was called Silent Hills.
Yeah.
So it made it sound as if there was more than one location like that. And they basically took that idea and they've spread it across multiple different games.
God
and they're
knows.
just running with that idea and not going to bring Kojima back.
I would have much preferred to see Kojima's vision.
that's a bit dirty if they've done that. Basically, stole his concept for a horror series.
Yeah. I would have just much preferred to see his vision. I think what we saw with PT, the playable trailer for Silent Hills, was phenomenal. Like that was some creepy shit.
That was it was on another level of horror. That experience alone was one of the most terrifying horror experiences I've ever had in games, TV shows, and movies. It was tense, insane, freaky. Like, there's no other game that's managed to replicate the way PT made me feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Is Jen coming into audio channels? No, he's not, but you might be hearing him through this microphone. So I've just turned down the speakers a little bit, so it should resolve that.
I've turned down my headphones as well because sometimes it could be that my headphones are up too high and it's feedback looping.
Hopefully that resolves the
It
issue.
happens on Xbox as well for some reason.
Yeah. Sweet. But yeah, it's what he created with the PT, the playable trailer for Silent Hills, was like you say, next level, and I would have loved to see how that went in a full game.
That's one of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to that game that he's working on. That's supposed to be a horror game, because he's going to blow the doors off horror with that. Fingers crossed he does.
Yeah.
Because what he was doing with Silent Hills was, like we both just said, next level.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, it inspired Capcom to take Resident Evil in a first-person direction.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most well-received Resident Evil games in a long time. We all know Resident Evil was going in a direction that was close to not redeeming itself, especially after 6.
Yeah. And then 7 came out, and we know how that happened. So, yeah, it's
and since then, Capcom have been firing on all cylinders. Their Resident Evil games are getting good again. A lot of people have mixed feelings on 8 because there wasn't as much horror in it.
Because people complained there was too much horror in 7.
Just go more, lean more into that horror direction. That's what horror fans want.
Yep. Yeah, Resident Evil's not for non-horror fans. Resident Evil's meant for the horror fans. So, yeah, I hope they keep it. I hope they keep it more horror for the next one. Yeah, of course, another one we got, which I don't know whether or not you caught. We have a interactive series called Silent Hills Ascension.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. Because they've tried these interactive sort of video game experiences before and they've not worked.
Yeah.
Because they've not been well thought out. Maybe this is well thought out, but again, it's Konami. Is anything well thought out with Konami these days?
Yeah, it's a bit. We'll see. We'll see. It's.
I remain hopeful.
Yeah.
Maybe this is Konami's redemption arc. That's very, very small chance there.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Resident Evil, though, we did see the new kind of trailer / gameplay footage for Resident Evil 4 remake. That is my favorite Resident Evil of the series. It looks fantastic. The gameplay looks awesome.
Looks crazy good.
What are your thoughts on what you saw of that so far?
As someone that's kind of sick and tired of buying Resident Evil 4 over and over, because I have bought it multiple times, because it is one of my favorite Resident Evil games. It was also that start where Resident Evil was taking its steps more into action, but this one seems like they're pushing more into that grotesque sort of horror style.
Yeah.
As you can see from some of the redesigns of the characters, they're more horrific looking. So hopefully this is more Resident Evil 4 leaning more into that horror direction. And that's what I get from that trailer, the new trailer and the gameplay they showed. It's very, very much similar to what we got in Resident Evil 4, but obviously it's not as tanky and clunky looking as that original game, which is now kind of outdated feeling. I can fully see why they wanted to remake that game. I recently tried to go back and play that. Must have been like half a year ago. and I didn't get on well with it. I played the first like hour, and I was like, "This is really clunky and hard to play now."
Like a lot of them are. Yeah.
So I can see why they're remaking it, and I imagine they're gonna remake all the old Resident Evil games.
Apart from Code Veronica.
It's not on their radar just yet, but I guarantee that will happen at some point. They'll get all the other ones out of the way first, then they'll think about that.
No,
I think they will.
They
I think
hate
they
they
will.
hate it. They hate it. They don't want anything to do with it.
So they've got options there though. They can change Code Veronica drastically.
Do you mean like just delete it?
Pretty much. Just redo it all over and just change a lot of stuff.
Just shove it in the bin with Resident Evil Reverse.
I don't even know why that's a thing. Why is that still coming out?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
So
who
the
asked
thing
for
is,
that.
I have to help a friend of mine get a full 1,000 gamer score on that because I promised him that I'd help him.
Oh dear
So I
God.
have to play that.
Oh dear
I guess
God.
in some sick and twisted way, I get to make a video out of it.
Yep.
Whether that be a good thing or a bad thing.
Show people how terrible it is.
Yeah. I don't know what it is with Capcom, but they don't seem to know how to make a good multiplayer game.
But
They've
it's
got
just making
something that's been
multiplayer games
staring
when they're
them in
not
the
required.
face. I mean, they've got a Resident Evil game staring them in the face that could be remade. The Outbreak series was co-op.
Yeah.
Do that. Just redo that. Both of those games in one. Redo them.
Yep. Highly agree.
People have been calling out for that for years. That's their best multiplayer experience they ever made, and everything else after that was naff.
Highly agree. Highly agree. Shout out to Boxenberger for a €5 super chat there. It says midweek mix-up rocks, and this community is the best in gaming. Thank you very much there, sir. Much appreciated. And of course, if you don't already follow Boxenberger, which you probably do by now, but if you don't, of course, click on his name, head to his channel and subscribe. And Paulie FC in with a super chat there as well for £2. Boxenberger, I agree. Thank you, Paul.
I do have a question for you, though.
Yes.
After this Resident Evil game, what do you think they remake next?
I think after this remake, they'll concentrate on Resident Evil 9 before they do another remake.
They're going to do that, but say after that, the next remake.
Oh God, I don't know.
I'd say they should just go ahead and remake the first game again in that modern style, like 2, 3,
Yeah.
and 4.
Yeah, do an actual remake of 1. Because it was more like a HD remaster the last time they brought out 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a remake in terms because they added the fast running zombies, didn't they? And they made a few changes to the story.
Wasn't the same.
Correct.
Shout out to Panto Surf the £2 super chat. He says Paulie FC is correct. Thank you, sir.
But yeah, I think they should just go ahead and remake that first game in the style of 2, 3, and 4. I do think they should get round to doing Code Veronica, but maybe just reboot that story, change it completely, rather than it be just a remake.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And again, the only thing is they need to be careful, like 3, because big fans of the series. With 3 remake, they cut out a lot of the game. Cut out a lot of sections, and it turned out to be like a 2-3 hour experience. And obviously, for fans of the series, it's far too short.
And a half.
Yeah. And that's far too short. I mean, come on. Of course, they appreciate it looks beautiful. It plays unbelievable. It's the great direction, but you don't cut that much content out of it. Come on.
It could have been just DLC for 2, to be honest.
Mm.
That's what it felt like. It could have been.
We just reduced the asking price.
I think other than remaking the first game, remake Resident Evil 0, because I played that recently, a few months back. I streamed it, and just as I was gradually going through that game, I hated it. I just hated playing the clunky controllers. It was an awful experience. It's one of the reasons why I've been putting off playing the first game on stream again.
Yeah.
Because I had plans to go through all the Resident Evil games, and I will do it. But at the moment, I'm just like, do I really want to struggle with that game right now? Because it's just playing those old controllers is kind of sickening.
That's the reason I don't play them old Resident Evils, because I just absolutely hate tank controls. I hate them.
those two games they need to do next, whether it be 1 or 0, remake those two.
Yeah. That's a fair shout. That's a fair shout. Where do you think they'll go with 9?
It's hard because the story for Ethan Winters pretty much ends with this DLC that's coming out.
Yeah.
Is it already out, or is it out this week, or is it next week?
Next week, I think.
That's hard because there's been leaks that point to it being set on some sort of island, and it being a bit of a mind fuck sort of thing where you're not sure what's real in the game.
Good.
Whether
Psychological
those leaks
horror.
are legit is obviously something I don't know.
Yeah.
So don't hold me to that. So, but yeah, it seems if those leaks are real, it's going to be in that psychological horror where it's going to play tricks on your minds. You're not going to know what's real in the story and what's fake. So it's going to be interesting. I guess we'll see a reveal for that next year.
Yeah. That'll certainly be very interesting, and fingers crossed it is awesome. I love psychological horrors. Again, I was much a fan of the medium, to be fair, and I understand people's complaints with no combat, but I just like this. I love the story and I love the psychology behind it, and it was more of a creepy vibe and having those parallel universes. So I appreciated it for what it was. But I love psychological horrors like the likes of Fear and Condemned, etc., where they aren't really horror games, as it were, but it was the fact that you didn't know what was round each corner that was the bit that was scary as shit. And again, for people who don't know,
I can't wait to replay that.
Shocktober sales on Xbox at the moment, and Condemned you can pick up for $2.99. So less than £3, you can get Condemned and play that awesome original. To be honest, that needs a remake. Needs to stay true to its means, but it just needs a nice spruce up, some nice modern controls and things.
Gameplay.
Yep, but what a game.
And Darkness 1 and 2 is on sale as well. And I bought Condemned Darkness 1 and 2 recently, so I'm going to be replaying those games. Darkness 1 and 2, I have very fond memories of those games.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's never been a third one. Really haven't. It's a shame.
You never know in the future.
Fingers crossed, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's the same as me hoping for a Condemned remake or a return to that series because it needs it.
It could happen. I mean, Sega own the rights to it.
Yeah.
Xbox have only got to go, we want something horror orientated. What can we use? Then approach Sega and go, can we buy this franchise off you, or can we license this franchise off you and do something with it?
Yeah.
And they obviously still hold good terms with Sega because it's still on the Xbox. You can still buy it. The only one you can't buy is the second one, and a lot of people have mixed opinions on that one, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, loved it. Hertog Vin, of course, naturally in chat saying Sega. I know. As soon as we mention the word Sega, a wild Vin appears. You'll not get a timeout for that because, of course, we love Condemned, and that's one of the greatest series, I think, horror series that should have had a continuation. Number 2 wasn't as good as it should have been, but it was still good. But yeah.
There was big opportunities for a sequel to 2, but obviously never happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And
one day, hopefully.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. No Vin, no Scalebound. Everyone put the timeout Vin in that chat.
But yeah, in terms of Resident Evil 9, if that is going to go in a psychological direction, that could be a unique thing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, imagining it now, like, you might not want to risk shooting something in that game because it's not actually there. So if you do shoot it, you're wasting a bullet.
Yeah.
So that could be something unique.
It is. That's the thing. It's more being more being more careful with how you do things, and some horrors, much like PT. Actually, PT had 0 combat, even just that little playable trailer. That was all psychological. And if they do that, then it's going to be quite interesting. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
PT was insane. Like part where you start speeding up and running around the corridors, and it's just a constant loop.
Yeah, and
Till
you're
you
like,
get
what
to
is
the
going
point where
on?
there's the hole in the wall,
Yeah.
and you look for that hole in the wall, and that's some creepy shit, man. That had so much potential. I still, to this day, I'm so disappointed it never came out.
Just gotta hope that Kojima just kind of takes that project, renames it, and brings
Does
out
his
something
own thing.
extremely similar. That's what I kind of hope. I hope we see something
Well,
in that
Norman
vein.
Reedus was going to be in that, wasn't he? And
Yeah.
then obviously that went down the tubes, and they ended up doing Death Stranding. But who knows? Maybe they can do some sort of horror thing, and Norman Reedus is a part of that too. That would have been a very interesting game, especially with the minds of Kojima and Guillermo del Toro on board working on this story.
Yeah. You never know. You just never know. But overall, yes, I'm hyped. Hyped for Resident Evil 4 remake. The other couple I've got because I game share with somebody, so of course they've purchased the other Resident Evil remakes. I've never played them personally, but I do have them installed. And 4 was the one I was waiting for because 4 is the only one that I actually truly loved out of the series. So yeah, I'm hyped for 4. It looks great so far. Looks like an awesome thing. They've also added chainsaw parry as well, so you can parry away the chainsaw guys now. That's thank God.
I really can't wait to play that. It's March that's out, right? If I'm
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. March. So the
Looking
beginning of
forward to it.
2023 is packed. So much stuff.
I should really start Resident Evil 1 soon.
Yeah. Yeah. But even if you just play the newer one, well, have you played through 8 and 7?
I've replayed most of them well over a year ago, but I wanted to do it all on stream before 4 came out.
Yeah.
And then go from 4 obviously onwards to 5 and 6. And then 7 and 8.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Slight change in direction here, though. We're going to be talking about a game that you've been buzzing to talk about since this podcast was created, and of course that is the new Modern Warfare. Of course, you've been playing it quite a bit. I have some gameplay on in the background here, so I'm going to play that gameplay. Just transition over. There we go. So it's not my gameplay. This is just gameplay off YouTube. I didn't have time to record any of it myself. But I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. Yeah. Modern Warfare 2. Of course, the campaign early access has been out this last week. We've had a chance to play it over the weekend. And of course, I know you've been playing it a lot as well. I think you've finished the campaign now. I'm about halfway through, I think. I don't know. You'll have to tell us.
You're about just on a prison break mission. If
just
I'm
after that, yeah, we've just broken out of prison and we're now going after.
You got about 3 or 4 missions left.
Oh, right, not that long then. Sweet. So, but yeah, without getting into spoilers for those who haven't played the full campaign yet, what have you made of the game overall so far? What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? Talk to me.
Overall, I really liked the majority of the game, apart from one mission. That was the mission where you have to like jump from car to car, but you obviously start out in a helicopter.
Yeah.
And then something happens along the way in the mission where you end up having to cut a rope and land on the top of a truck. I didn't get on too well with that mission. It was a pain in the ass, dying a lot. I don't know if you struggled with it.
Yes. Yeah.
I watched most of your stream up to the point where I got to, and then that's when I tuned out of your stream.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how far you got on stream. Was that the mission? I think it's after the sniper mission.
Yeah,
no. After
no.
the sniper mission.
So I got up to that moving vehicle section, and then yeah, I think it might have been the sniper mission that you tuned out, and I think it was just after that sniper mission that I kind of turned we'll finish that mission then turned it off. Actually got up to Il Sin Nombre when you go into the mansion. That's when I turned it off.
Yeah. That's a tough mission.
Yeah.
I couldn't stealth it. I couldn't
No,
stealth
there's
it.
an
I
achievement
tried
for doing it
so many
without being
times.
spotted and without killing anybody. And I
Yeah.
was like, how's
I was like,
that possible?
How? Because the guy you're supposed to be like going up to get the key card off of, I don't think he actually leaves that room. So it's like, how do I get into that room, get that key card
Yeah,
without getting into a fight with them?
and
Do I
without being
physically have to
spotted.
just sprint past him and grab the thing and run off?
Yeah,
So yeah, I just couldn't do it. I just went loud and I killed everyone in that mission. But yeah, like I said, the only mission I had trouble with was the driving one. I'm not really a big fan of vehicle sections in any games, so I struggled a bit with that. Timing the jumps from cars to car was a bit iffy in points, and there was times where I thought I was going to land on a car because I was close enough to it, but he slipped past it. So
yeah,
it was quite funny, but also quite frustrating at times.
yeah.
But
Mine,
yeah, like,
there was
other than
one
that,
section on that one where I spawned and it drove directly into a car. Like as soon as I spawned back in
mm,
after dying, I just drove into a car and blew up. I was like, oh, that was nice.
yeah, it's got a checkpoint issue in some of those
Yeah,
missions.
it does.
Definitely need to update that. I have encountered a few bugs as well. As the mission alone, I think that's the one you've just done, right?
Yes, that was a pain in the arse.
Yeah, that was a pain in the ass, especially trying to do that mission without shooting
I did
anyone.
manage that first time, but God, it was hard.
It's tough. I'd managed to do it today after loading up the mission again. But that mission, such a good mission. Probably my favorite mission in the game.
Yeah,
Because there's like this whole section where you get to craft items. You can craft smoke bombs, trip mines, molotovs. There's another item, I think. The pry tool. Craft that as well as like pry open doors and
yes,
boxes. That was something I found really unique to a COD game, at least.
yeah,
We've had crafting in many other games, but at first it felt out of place, and then I was like, I could really deal with playing an RPG COD game, and experiencing that was like, that would be awesome if they did a whole game like that, where you're just like a soldier, whether you're SAS or Special Forces or something.
yeah,
So that was pretty unique. They also brought over from Warzone the body armor chests thing, where you fill them up with the armor plates. Like you get these small little armor plates that go in the body armor zip thing.
yeah,
But there's some enemies that also have body armor on. You have to crack their armor. Easier to shoot them in the head, of course, because it breaks their armor quicker. And that was pretty unique. They brought that over from Warzone.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't do that typical crawl up to a weapon thing, because they do that in a lot of COD games.
In what
Whether
sense?
it's like near the beginning, like that typical COD scene where they're crawling over to a weapon that they need to pick up where they're injured. They've done it in multiple COD games in like different sections of the COD games. They didn't actually do that here. Well, they sort of teased it, but they never pull it off. It's more like, psych, we made you think we were going to do it, but we didn't. So that was pretty funny, because they've got this meme where that's the typical thing in a COD game, where there's always that one scene in the campaign where you've got to struggle to crawl over to a weapon
Yeah,
or a knife or something and pick it up and throw it at an enemy or shoot an enemy. But it felt good that they pulled the rug from under your feet in that point, because you think this is the scene that's going to happen, and it doesn't happen. But yeah, overall, I absolutely love this game. It's hard to not get into spoiler details. There's some really cool sniper missions in it. Well, there's a really cool long drawn out sniper mission. And then there's a really cool mission at the end. The last mission is amazing. All I'll say is it's set on a skyscraper, and it's one of the coolest missions in the game, next to the lone mission.
yeah.
It's such a tough game though, as well. So my dad was playing this, and he had a proper struggle with it. He had to turn the difficulty down to easy. I
Yeah.
stuck through the game on regular, struggling, and I kind of wished I did turn it down to have a better experience. But there's some of the achievements as well are a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, the achievements aren't based on completing a level. They're
Mm,
specifics within a level, like not get through alone without firing the weapon, or
mm,
stick with the first car on that one where you've got to hop from car to car and make that last
mm.
until the end of the game, and
Yeah, there's
um,
that one in Wet Work where you have to
kill three
kill
from underwater.
everyone without being spotted, and that was so hard to do. The amount of times I had to reload that was insane. And there's one I tried to do earlier, but I kept failing to do it. It's on the mission Darkwater,
Yeah,
where you have to travel up the ship 90 meters without touching like the deck of the ship. You have to go from like the boxes, jump on the boxes, and time your jumps right. Such a hard thing to do. Those achievements are no joke.
yeah, yeah. I've got a couple of them, very small ones. I did on
Mm,
the prison one that I've just done there. I managed to get the 3 kills with a shield,
mm.
but even that
I didn't
wasn't
get that one.
easy because of course there's so many people there.
Yeah,
You've got to
yeah.
time it right.
So getting the flashbang one's pretty tough as well.
Yeah.
I found it a bit of a struggle. I managed to do that on the Darkwater mission though.
And how many times did you get Ghost killed
Uh,
when you were directing
too
them
many,
via CCTV?
too many, too many. There was points where he glitched out though, and that's another issue I've had with the bugs. Because like the first 3 hours of this game, I had no issues, and then like after that, I was just getting bugs pop out every now and then. Nothing too game breaking. Like a quick reload fixed it, but like that mission directing Ghost, I kept getting those bugs where he was like he'd go to run somewhere, but it was like he was confused in which direction he should be going, so he'd go back and like stutter and such like that. Um, so that was kind of annoying, but it was a cool mission overall. Just a bit infuriating when it messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, overall though, it's a great return to form for Call of Duty. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far in the campaign. Um, of course, we've had a chance ourselves as to play the multiplayer beta. I think I'll just give you a taste of what to expect. I can't wait to see what other levels they've got planned for the multiplayer. But in terms of the campaign, it looks gorgeous. Yeah, it plays all pretty much flawlessly. They say there's a few basic bugs and things here or there, but nothing like game breaking, as it were. Um,
Yeah, just a simple reload fixed most of my issues.
yeah, and then of course, aside from that, like you say, the difficulty's no joke this time round. The enemy AI is definitely um, a lot better. Really, really harsh, and obviously the armored AI now as well kind of steps it up a notch. It makes it a little bit more difficult. You can't just go gung ho because if there's 3 or 4 armored ones coming towards you, the chances are you need to get cover somewhere. You're not going to take them all down straight away because they've got too much armor between them, and you'll probably get
Especially in
killed.
some of the missions where like you don't have explosives on you.
Yeah,
They're a pain in the butt to deal with. It's cool they brought that over though, the armor breaking Warzone feature.
yeah,
That was a cool addition to the campaign.
100%, 100%. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know how many. Again, it's I think it's about 6 to 7 hours campaign. If
About that.
yeah,
Mine was close to 10 hours because I died so many times in that game.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say there. Depending on how many times you die, and what difficulty you've got it on. Seen some people say they've done it in 8 hours on veteran and things like that. So depending on your how good you are at shooters and things like that, depends on how long it'll
Yes.
take you.
It's that typical Call of Duty length game, like
Yeah,
6 to 7-ish hours, maybe 8 at a push. And unless you're in my boots, close to 10 hours because I suck.
yeah,
I died way too many times, more times than I would like to admit.
yeah, most definitely. And
And that's on regular as well. That's like I said, the enemies are no joke in this game.
yeah, I've got it on regular as well. To be fair, what Joshua James says, what do you guys think of the engine and how it's evolved, and the prospect of Microsoft having their hands on it?
It excites me to see what they could do with this engine because it's such a pretty engine. That I actually tweeted real life pictures of Amsterdam, and people actually fell for it. There was people that actually fell for that. Those actual real life pictures of Amsterdam. People thought that that was from COD. So that says it all, really, like how graphically beautiful that engine is.
Yep. They've done a really, really good job of portraying some of the real life locations, like you mentioned, Amsterdam. Really good job at portraying kind of a specific location that I recognise myself personally. Been there a few times. But yeah, it's and by that I don't mean Amsterdam. I just mean that specific location in Amsterdam. um, yeah, it's such a great game. Really, really great. The gunplay is fantastic, of course, but I think the story's also quite cool.
Yeah.
Few twists and turns in there, some good characters. Of course, great to see the
I mean,
originals
it's
back.
mostly your typical Call of Duty campaign, but there is some unique twists in there that I didn't see coming.
Yeah,
Especially like when you get to that mission alone. That twist there, I didn't actually see that coming.
yeah. Did you mean just before Alone?
Yeah, I won't spoil it, obviously details, but yeah, you all know where it's like the cutscene that plays before that mission.
Yeah,
That twist there really shocked me. Didn't expect it. I should have done as well because at least one of the character names in there is from the original Modern Warfare 2, so I should have saw it coming, but I didn't
yeah,
because the character looks drastically different. I didn't even acknowledge it as the same character, or at least an attempt to be the same character or share a likeness. But it's pretty cool, the twist.
yeah. Most definitely. And of course, this upcoming weekend we've got the launch of um the multiplayer as well. So what are you hoping to see from that? What maps are you hoping to see in the next one?
Hopefully, there's some remakes of older maps there because they did say they were working on some remakes of older maps. So I remember that one small one in Modern Warfare 2, Rust, little oil sort of silo. Very small map, insane combat you could get into on there. Just it was hectic if you were on free for all.
Yeah,
You die a lot, and everyone's just getting taken out. That's where you see a lot of people trying to do 360 no scopes. I hope they bring that mission back, map back, because one of my favorites. Hectic, but one of my favorite maps. So I'd like to see that come back.
aye, most definitely, most definitely.
I'm looking forward to diving into some more of the third person mode, even though I didn't go much on that at first. It was once you got into it, it was pretty good.
Yeah, once you got used to it, it was actually really good. It was good fun. It was definitely a different perspective to play on as well.
I can see why they've done it because you got all these really unique, cool looking skins, and
You can't
you
see
don't
them.
get to actually see them if you're in first person. So having those third person modes are pretty cool because you get to see those skins in.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. But yeah, overall, I highly recommend this Call of Duty for a change. It's a far cry from Vanguard and World War II that they brought out, and it's just
Mm.
back to their best. Hopefully the multiplayer hits it out of the park as well, and we get an abundance of maps and cool game modes and things like that to play. The beta was awesome. We really enjoyed that, but we've just got to hope it kind of echoes that sentiment and turns it up a notch.
There is an after credit scene, well, mid credit scene and an after credit scene, and the mid credit scene sets up, believe the sequel that's coming, unless it's for Warzone content, which I don't think it will be, because it's quite big in terms of previous Modern Warfare games,
Mm,
story wise. I'm interested to see that. I won't obviously go into details, but that pretty much seems to be setting the story up going forward. I think they have come out and said there's going to be story DLC for this.
yeah, we shall
So
see.
maybe it's story
Apparently,
DLC.
yeah. Apparently, the one of the things that they have mentioned is potentially doing the no Russian mission, and I
Hmm.
don't know whether or not they would actually um would actually get that approved now. I don't know. It doesn't sound like the best idea ever at the second.
It's a tough one. Even if they remade the Mile High Club one at the end of the first Modern Warfare game,
Yeah,
the plane, I'd love to see them remake that. That would be awesome.
yeah, that was quite fun and difficult.
I
And
remember
very
people
difficult.
trying to do like speed runs of that mission on Veteran and just watching people do that mission over and over again on YouTube.
Yep, just try and get the quicker speed.
Such a good mission, though.
Oh, it is definitely. Definitely, but yeah, this, as you mentioned before, the game's no joke in terms of its difficulty, and I'd like to hear from people who have played on the veteran modes, really, to see what they think of the veteran mode and whether or not it turned it up a notch from previous Call of Duties, or whether or not they feel like it's the
Honestly, I
same.
can't see me doing this on Veteran.
Yeah,
I just can't. I think getting through the first mission, well, the second mission, because the first mission really isn't much of a mission, more of a cutscene, and you get to take control of a rocket. That's about it. But the second mission, I don't think I could get through that on Veteran. That
it's
would
not.
be a struggle.
I was going to say, I don't think you could get through on any of the higher difficulties and do the achievements. I think that would be too much of an ask. Like, you couldn't do a lone on veteran and not use a gun.
No way. No way. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna try this at all on Veteran. Maybe I'll give an attempt on a stream just for the laugh.
Yeah.
But there's no way I'm gonna commit to going through the full game on Veteran because I will have an aneurysm or a stroke midstream because I'll be in some sort of rage fit. I'm good, thanks. I don't need that stress level.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm exactly the same, to be honest. No thanks. I will play it on regular, and I'll enjoy it on regular.
I mean, even on regular, the AI is insanely good. And
Yeah.
like, even on easy, the AI is so good. Like in some of those stealth missions, especially wet works, they spot you so easily. You
Oh,
have to
yeah.
like be on your toes and dive under the water really quick, otherwise you're spotted.
Yep.
Took me way too many attempts to get that achievement.
Oh, it was exactly the same. It took me wet work. I'm gonna have to replay again because I did again when I started the game. Much like most people, they didn't realize that the achievements weren't level based, so they didn't go after these secret achievements where it's like, oh, you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to get the achievement on this level. So yeah, I'm much like a lot of people. I'm gonna have to go back and replay some of the chapters to attempt some of these achievements.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I did in the first playthrough. I wasn't really worried about achievements.
Yeah.
I do wish some of the levels, though, because some of the levels are so long, I really wish there was like checkpoints in between segments of missions.
Yes.
Because especially the dark water one where you're on the oil rig at first. And there's no like section in between to be able to go straight to the boat section. And if you need
Yeah.
to restart the mission, because there is a point where you have to restart the mission if you mess up.
Well,
There's no way
just
of going
like
back.
I was gonna say, just like that mission before you jump in from car to car. Like I just thought is that all the same mission? Because of course, you get one thing's happened, and you go to do another thing to get that to resolve that issue. But it's hard. It's hard to know where the lines cross because I was streaming that and I was like, okay, I'll finish this mission, then we'll go on to the next bit, and then the next bit felt like it was the same bit. So I just kept going because it felt like the same mission.
I think I know what you're talking about because my dad said it's the same thing, that he felt like it was the same mission.
Yeah, it just felt like it was
I think it's
going on.
the mission at the part at the end of the sniper mission, you mean, and it transitions into the part on the helicopter.
Yeah.
Where you're playing as Gaz. Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly where my dad said he felt like he was still playing the same mission.
Yeah, but it wasn't. So I just continued because
wasn't.
originally I was just gonna go, okay, we'll call it a day here, and I ended up in that car chase scene, and I was like, oh, okay.
Good mission, but I can't stand driving segments. I bloody hated that part.
Yeah, I think most people dislike
that mission was my favorite parts. The driving part, you could just scrub that out, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think most people dislike that section as well. To be fair, so it's not just you and me.
I don't like those sections in any of the COD games. Like even the tank sections in some of the older Call of Duty games, I didn't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, overall, thoroughly enjoyed it. I highly recommend people play it if they can. I know a lot of people don't like or don't play the multiplayer. I know Boxenberger is one of them. He doesn't play the multiplayer section of it. He doesn't have the time to put into it to get good again, which is fair. So they're waiting for sale for just to play the campaign. But I would say that the campaign's definitely worth it. Whether or not someone feels like it's worth the money for it, that's another thing. But again, shout out to Jen. Of course, you graciously gifted me this game, so I much appreciate
Like I
that.
said, I was going to gift you that or Callisto, and you was getting one or the other. There was no way I was accepting no.
Yeah, so it was much appreciated. Of course, it was going to get that on payday at the end of the month, and then of course you said you were gifting us it, so massively appreciated that.
That's right, mate.
And of course, what it has allowed me to do is play the game early, so and play that campaign. So on launch day, we can just jump straight into that multiplayer madness and have fun. So I'm looking forward to
I'm
that.
looking forward to that, dipping my toes in the multiplayer again, because like playing the game and streaming it for 7 hours when we were both streaming it for 7 hours was a hell of a lot of laughs with everyone that joined us as well.
Yeah, yeah. And again, what I'm looking forward to on the multiplayer actually for a change is ranking up and unlocking the weapons I want to unlock and on the skins and character skins and doing all that stuff and like being or having our own setups and things on this. Really looking forward to
I'm looking
that.
forward to diving further into the Weaponsmith 2.0. 'Cause
Yes.
that looks really cool. Like the chain of unlocks through weapons is different. If you unlock specific things for one weapon, it unlocks it for another. So that's something I'm interested to try out a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, I'm interested to see as well what other maps we get because we were restricted to like a handful of maps. Like it was like 3 or 4 maps maybe at a push. Seemed to always be between kind of 3 mainly. It was like um the Amsterdam section, the hotel, um the Mexican street, and what was the other one again?
There was the museum. It was a museum, right?
Yeah, that's the Amsterdam one, isn't it?
That's a hotel, isn't it? A hotel spa is the Amsterdam one. And
Yep.
you've got the
Oh
museum.
yeah, the museum. That's right.
I can't
So it was
remember
the
where that's set.
museum, the hotel, spa, and the Mexican market. I think they were the. Was that the only maps we played? I think it was,
I
wasn't it?
think so. I think there was 4 maps in total on the smaller game modes,
Mm,
and then there was the big team sort of battle maps where there was only the one map. I think.
yeah. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing what additional maps and things we get in that, and how they've got the weapon system and perks and all that stuff on the multiplayer. It's certainly going to be very interesting. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
I can't wait. I'm excited. Proper excited.
Definitely,
It
definitely.
feels good to have a good Call of Duty game again. I mean, the last time I was this hyped and excited for a Call of Duty game was, God, it's got to have been about 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh God, at least. And it's the vast majority of the community should be joining us as well this time around. I know Studos is getting it. Yourself. I don't know about Vin. I know Fanto is going to be getting it.
We'll definitely have to throw a custom lobby together if that's
Definitely
a thing in the
be hilarious
full
going
game
against
launch.
each other.
And in third person mode as well would be funny.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Um, yes, I think we'll transition back over to regular now and talk about a few other little bits before we wrap up. It is a shorter day, but there wasn't too much news, so we wanted to at least bring you something. But yes, Jen, of course, there has been, we have spoke about it before, but of course, a few other people are still talking about it. Have you had a chance to play a little bit more of Plague Tale Requiem?
I have not, no. Next time I play that will be after I finish the first game, because I don't want to get too far into this story and not know what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna pick up the first game because it's no longer in Game Pass.
Yeah.
I might end up streaming the both of them back to back at some point. So I'll get there, but I haven't played any more. I've only done the first chapter.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen Jordan's on his second playthrough now.
Yep, I
He's
saw that.
loves it, absolutely loved it. And as Vin mentioned in chat before as well, he's been playing Plague Tale Requiem, and he said it's an absolutely gorgeous game, and he's gonna end up breaking his screenshot button. Ooh. Oh, Jen's gone. I think he's accidentally refreshed the screen. We will have him back momentarily. Until that, you get a split screen version of me. I'll be talking to you like this for a second while Jen gets himself back in here.
Don't know what happened there. I was there and it was gone. The StreamYard seemed to have messed up.
Oh, never mind.
I can't remember what I was saying now because that threw me out of it.
Oh, just talking about how gorgeous the game looks. I said Vin's been playing it. He's almost going to bring his break his screenshot button. To be fair, you don't blame anybody. It's probably one of the prettiest games that have come out so far this generation.
Yeah, that first chapter alone should only take someone about 20-30 minutes, and I was there for like an hour and a half taking screenshots.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. And I want to touch on another game that I don't know whether or not you're going to be trying at all. I know Vinny might, but it is a big deal for Xbox, of course, and that was this week we had the release of Persona 5 Royale on Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. Of course, it's a huge deal for fans of JRPGs. It's probably not one I'll be playing. I have seen people playing it, and to be honest, it looks a little bit too Japanesey for me. What about you? Is that same for you, or are you going to try it?
I won't say I won't try it because I'm sure there'll be a day where I'm just like, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
But I'm in no rush to try it.
Yeah.
I'm not really into those Japanese anime type games. They're not really for me. I don't really watch a hell of a lot of anime myself. Only when I was growing up, like Dragon Ball Z and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not really into those JRPG style games. There's been a few I've enjoyed in the past, but I don't really go out of my way to play them. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be a day where I'm like, oh, I could just do with playing something different. And I'll download it and give it a try.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. For me, I'm exactly the same. It's I might try it at some point, but I'm not in a rush. Really not in a rush. I know Vinny probably will play Persona 5. I know he loves these JRPGs. Fanto says, as soon as it's anime school kids, I'm out. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's this clips that I've seen is it's only a 180-hour game.
Only, yeah, I'm out then.
At least play 18 before you verdict. I wouldn't even get 18 minutes. Never mind 18 hours. No,
Yeah,
that's too long.
It was the same with the Yakuza games. Once I learned that those games are like 40 hours plus, I was like, nah, not for me.
Yep. No, too long.
There's very few RPG games I'll put that kind of time into, and one of them's Skyrim.
Yep. Yep. Completely agree. Completely agree. And it's got to have a really good story. And as Fanto pointed out, anime school kids is not my forte. Like, not for me. He says, I played an hour on PS4 years ago. I love some RPGs, but not too many. Yep, that's fair. That's fair. Right, there isn't much else to talk about this week, believe it or not. We just wanted to cover off a few bits of the game news, discuss our thoughts on Modern Warfare. And of course, next week we will be returning with multiple streams. Of course, I know Jen's got his own gameplay streams. Tomorrow, of course, he's back again. I'll let him discuss what he's going to be playing again tomorrow. But it's a game. It's a prequel to a game that's coming out at the end of this month, or next week, should we say? Well, 2 weeks time. 2 weeks? Yeah, it is.
2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah. And of course we have our Sea of Tuesdays playcast every Tuesday. Of course, if you missed the last episode, we had an awesome guest on as well. So go and check that out. We've got another awesome guest coming up this week, and of course, we'll be discussing that, or at least we'll be putting that on Twitter before we go live on Tuesday. And of course, back again on Wednesday for the Midweek Mix-Up podcast. Before we're back here again on the weekend for the weekend edition. We may have either on Friday night or Saturday. I haven't decided as yet. We may have the Call of Duty community live stream where we all play the online multiplayer together and things like that. So look out for that when we've decided what day we're going to play it. But yeah, Jen, let people know where they can find you and what you've got coming up.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter, the general _general_. I always messed that up.
Yep.
And on here, YouTube, the General C. And I will be playing God of War tomorrow, continuing my playthrough. I was going to stream some yesterday, but then I remembered I'd made plans with Thistle Dude to do the video with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Monday and Saturdays I'll probably be doing God of War. I guess it depends on Saturday if we decide to do the community play date for COD then. But yeah, I'll probably be streaming some COD on Friday as well anyway. So
Yeah.
and then making videos throughout the week. Gonna try and put shorter videos out. I'm not like in any rush to put out 10-minute videos. Put a silly one out the other day. I did try and record a video of a hunt showdown the other day, but I didn't like the way it come out, so I'm going to redo that in the week. And I also have a video idea I'm going to do for Condemned. Play the first mission for that also, and put a video out on why I think a sequel or remake needs to happen for that.
Yeah.
And obviously see you Tuesdays and Wednesday here for the Midweek Mix-Up podcast, and back here on Sunday too.
Woohoo! Yes, awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Yeah, if you haven't already joined in, not only see content, just for you, Vinny. But yeah, if you haven't already tuned into his live stream, he's obviously live streaming now on YouTube. He is playing through God of War 2018 again before the launch of God of War Ragnarok, which we're all really hyped for. Of course, if you didn't already know, for some reason, we're doing a giveaway for God of War Ragnarok. It is a worldwide giveaway, a physical copy of that, in partnership, of course, with our awesome channel partner, Frame a Game. Of course, you can win a copy with an awesome display frame for God of War Ragnarok. All you got to do is go on to my Twitter. There is a pinned tweet on there. Follow the instructions how to enter that, and you could win a copy of God of War Ragnarok and the awesome display frame to display it in when you're finished playing it. So yes, other than that, of course, you can find me right here on random days when I decide to stream, but mostly on Tuesday for Playcast, on Wednesday for the Midweek Mix-Up podcast, and of course on Sunday again next week for the weekend edition for episode 30 already. Getting into that 30th episode. We'll be at 100 in no time.
Yeah.
But yes.
I will say one thing. I'll probably be streaming a bit earlier tomorrow because I want to put a bit more time into playing God of War. So probably about 6 or 7.
Sweet.
Good 3 or 4 hour stream, and then wrap that up.
Nice. So everybody, you've heard that right. It's your tea time TV. You can go and watch watch Jen playing some God of War whilst you're having your tea. So tune in. Definitely 100%. Go and show some love. But can I win after I was fired? You weren't fired, Vinny. You left. You left us. No, you're obviously welcome back anytime, whenever you see fit. But yeah, Vin, take part. You never know. You never know. It's all completely random. But yes, hope everybody enjoyed this shorter show this weekend. Of course, when there is more to talk about, of course, we'll have much longer episodes in the coming weeks and months. But of course, what we don't want to do is just yabber on about things forever, just to elongate episodes. So I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, chaps and ladies. And of course, if you watch this on demand, please also make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Yes, hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have an awesome evening, and see you all again next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.